Before you ever touch a single slider inside of Lightroom, there's one question that you need to answer that most photographers skip over entirely. And that's why they spend hours pushing colors around with no clear direction, not even sure if they achieved the look that they were originally going for. See, when you open up Lightroom and you don't know what kind of gray to push, it might not be that you're lacking the taste or the technical skill, but it might be because you haven't made one deliberate decision that would affect the way that your colors would push in your photo. That decision isn't about what preset to choose or what colors look cool in the moment. It's actually simpler than that. And once you start making this conscious choice consistently, then you'll never go into Lightroom feeling like you're lost again. That question that I'm talking about is this: when somebody looks at your image, what do you want them to feel? Not what do I want my image to look like, but what do I want my image to feel like? And I know that this sounds super basic, but trust me, once you start implementing this into your process, it will completely transform the way you edit. You need to start asking the questions: do I want my image to feel dark and intense, warm and nostalgic, clean and editorial, or moody and cinematic? That answer alone immediately eliminates all the different directions that don't push that photo in that way. And once you make that conscious decision, you are no longer hoping, praying, waiting for the sliders to guide and direct your photo to where you want it to end up. You've just narrowed down to a handful of color palettes that will get you to the direction that you want to go, and you just ruled everything else out. Now, this isn't to say that you can't choose and create different looks and different styles within one photo, because sometimes it takes that direction and that pushing to see where you can get your photo to and which one's actually going to fit the environment and the vibe that you're going with. But even creating those different looks comes from knowing where your final image is going to end up. Now, I don't want this to just be theory, so I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like with a real image. I'm going to open up this photo and answer that question out loud. And I'm going to show you how that single decision affects everything that I do coming downstream from that. All right, let's jump into Lightroom and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have this image here that I actually referenced in a recent video where I graded 3 different looks from this one shot. I graded it like this, which was kind of like this steel tone, which was really bright, really vibey. Then I created this, which was the original grade that I ended up going with, which was kind of like this nostalgic, warm feeling. And then I have this one, which was kind of like this burnt orange, kind of like this deep, ominous look that feels eerie in some ways, apocalyptic, I guess you could say. And I really like each of these tones, but I also had a fourth look. And so I'm going to walk you through exactly how I'm thinking about this, because when I'm thinking about grading an image from raw like this and then creating all these different looks, there is a specific thought pattern that you have to have before that in order to actually achieve the look that you want. Because if you wanted to try and get a look like this, there are a few things that need to be true about this. And this is where I come into a 3 step system that I like to follow every single time in order to go from a shot like this, where I have these bright highlights, to a shot like this, where the highlights aren't really seen. It does look more like a muted night scene. Now, it's not perfect. I'm not going to pretend like this is a perfect night scene because obviously it wasn't shot in that environment, but it could pull off for something kind of like that blue hour. And to be able to achieve a look like this, there are 3 things that need to be true. And the first is lighting. So the lighting has to match here. So in order to achieve and kind of pull this look off, I needed to have this light, which is in behind the rider, to be super muted. This image had to be dark. So that was removing the light, which was underneath the rider's arm here. And it also needed to play into that look where the shadows were pretty deep because, we're losing a lot of detail here within the rider's leg. Yes, this is pretty contrasty, but I also wanted to be able to see a bit into those shadows. So I had to fade out a little bit of those shadows. Like if we go to the tone curve here, we can look at this image. Let's pull this image up here, bring this over here. Perfect. So you can see we faded out a little bit of the shadows here, and you can see we absolutely crushed the highlights. So if I were to bring that back, you can see that, oh, okay, now we have these highlights in behind the rider. But once we start bringing that down, boom, we get rid of those highlights as a whole. And now this image fits the environment because we controlled the lighting. So that needs to be true in order to achieve the look that we want. And then the second is color. So you can see that we needed to remove all the color in order to achieve this look. So I have some yellows and oranges back in here, which would not help this look. It would actually hurt the look that I was going for. I was going for a monochromatic look here, and so I needed to get rid of these yellows and these oranges. So if I remove the color grade here, you can see just how dull this image is as a whole. This is pretty crazy, but this is what needs to happen in order to achieve this look. So I needed to remove the saturation on the yellows, the greens, the oranges, and even the blues. So this was creating a really muted palette. So the lighting needed to play into that, the color needed to play into that, and then the third is color grading. So in order to achieve this look, I needed to make sure that the color grade also really leaned into that. So if I wanted to create this blue hour night scene and I wanted to push this super aggressive, I needed to make sure that this color was really dipping in within the overall. Like if I didn't have the globals here, the look wouldn't have worked. You can see that when I turn the eye off, this look wouldn't have worked. When I turn that on, I'm really pushing in that color. So this is going to mean that I need to go super aggressive. And that's also going to determine where I'm pushing my colors. Like if we go to this image here with this warm look, obviously I needed to push that warmer. But if I wanted to push a colder tone, I needed to push this more towards that blue. And that needed to follow within the highlights, midtones, and shadows. And so you can see that once I can articulate and say, you know what, this is the kind of look that I want to create. I want to create this night scene and I want to create this ominous look. And I want to make it look like the rider was kind of riding in that dusk look. I needed to remove the lighting that was back in here. I needed to make everything super dark, moody. And then I also needed to remove the color, which was coming in here underneath the rider's arm. And that would pollute the scene. And then I also needed to push in a heavy color grade towards the look and towards the color that I was going for. So you can see that just by having that intentional decision before I went into the photo, then that directed where I was going to push my lighting, color, color grade. And it's the same, exact same with this. In order to go from a shot like this, where things are kind of darker, the sky isn't super blown out, to a look like this, where the sky's blown out, I want to create kind of like that dreamy, kind of like that punchy look, where I have a lot of contrast going here. I needed to create that contrast heavy within the tone curve. I needed to push contrast here within the basics and even bring up the highlights. Like if I were to show you without the tone curve, so you can see a little bit of cloud in here and the sky isn't fully blown out. But once we start pushing up these highlights and then we start bringing down this head of the tone curve, like we could have went like this, but I wanted to keep the image looking managed, kind of that dreamy look, right? So we're bringing down the head of the tone curve here, and that gives us our overall look. And to keep things really muted, I just brought down a lot of saturation within the image, brought down the yellows, brought down the oranges, and really kept these reds as the emphasis. It's really the same thing. And once you can nail down the system before you ever touch a single slider of saying, okay, I'm going to break down my image first within the lighting, what needs to be true about the lighting, then what needs to be true about the color, and then what needs to be true about the color grade to lean into the look that I'm trying to achieve. And then once you know this, it is so easy to create these looks because you know which direction you're pushing your photo. You're not going into Lightroom and you're not guessing. And once you're able to stop guessing, you can start creating looks like this. Now, this is just step one in creating a cinematic look within a photo. And so if you're looking for the other steps in order to achieve a cinematic look in a cinematic grade, then I have the cinematic clarity system that you can pick up for free down below, where I lay out my entire cinematic system that you can have and copy for free. So go check that out in the description below and you can go pick that up. So before you go into Lightroom and start pushing sliders and start editing, ask the question, what do I want my image to feel like? What do I want my viewer to feel when they see my image? And once you start asking this question, it will dramatically change the way that you edit, the results that you come out with, and how you start intentionally shaping a photo to match the style in the type of photo that you're trying to achieve. Now, if you're looking for more videos to continue to level up your cinematic color grading, then I think you'll really like this video. So I'll see you over there. All right, peace.